It's inside that box.
Should I stop?
Come on over here.
No, be fine.
Well, while we wait for everybody to get on live, having some technical issues. I don't know, there's many people that missed Facebook Live last Tuesday because Facebook was having problems. And they're continuing to have problems because I'm looking at it right now and it's distorted on mine, but my wife tells me that everything is fine. So we're centered beautifully. Good. Excellent. Howdy. How's everybody doing? This is my daughter Athena. She's going to be the producer today. So she's going to make sure that everything looks awesome. And just waiting for a few more people to get online. And we're just having a wonderful Friday here. Who else is here? Come on, Alana. While we wait for people to get on, I thought I'd introduce some of my children.
Oh.
Come on. This is
Hi.
Alana. Alana Joe.
Hi guys.
She's in middle school. She's now doing middle school online. And Athena, let's come back here. Come back here, Athena. And this is Athena Rose. That's right. This is Athena. She is in the 4th grade at Oso Grande Elementary. She's pretty awesome. She too is doing school online. Mason, while we're waiting for everybody to get here, this is Mason Edward. Mason is in the 3rd grade, also at Oso Grande. Awesome, thank you. And we have Shy Mia Rose. She's in the 8th grade. Shy Mia Rose.
Mia.
Come on, Mia Rose.
She's not coming.
She's not going to come. She's about, if she was standing here, I don't even think she'd be in the picture. She's so tall. And she's the one that's practicing for the marathon. So she runs, I believe, is it 16 miles tomorrow? 16 miles. Yes, 16 miles. Anyways, I think we've given everybody enough time. So let's go ahead and get this show on the road. Thank you for joining me. And this is Reports on Housing coming to you live from Ladera Ranch, Stephen Thomas's bonus room. And the last report that came out was called COVID-19 Cracks. That was for San Diego, Los Angeles, and Orange County. San Bernardino, Riverside, we've got the numbers, and those will be coming out coming up Monday. So stay tuned for that. And you go to reportsonhousing.com, and that's where you subscribe. And you get a month free if you sign up today, and the coupon code for today is DATA, D-A-T-A. You can sign up today or tomorrow, over the weekend, with the coupon code of DATA, D-A-T-A. And now for my sponsor, Matterport3dtours.com. They have the most effective virtual tours available, imaging available to showcase your listings remotely. They keep your buyers and sellers and yourself safe, and they have special COVID-19 extra precautions that they take. And you can sign up by going to reservephotographer.com, and it starts at $2.99. Wanted to start off a few spring fun photos. Yep, that's right. Can we uninstall 2020 and reinstall it? Because I think we have a virus. I have a son that's graduating this year. I sent this to him. The year when crap got real. I had to edit that because I have a kid watching right in front of me. But yes, that is the class of 2020. And as you guys know, quantitative economics and decision sciences major, UC San Diego, 28 years in business, Orange County native, Capital Valley High School grad, 9 kids, avid runner. There they all were a Brady Bunch family. I adopted her, she adopted mine, and we had bonus kid. That's right. He's sleeping right now. I'm sure with my loud voice, he is going to be waking up at any moment. And I've been all over the place as far as the press is concerned. And now let's get into the macroeconomic outlook. So we've talked about this before. This is BC, before coronavirus. Everything looked absolutely fantastic. Some of the numbers are still coming out really good, but some of the numbers that are coming out right now are starting to look a little bit on the negative side. So we have a look down the road. Pardon me. We have a look down the road, and the look down the road is all going to be, for the economy, AD. It's after the disease. So that's where we're at right now, thanks to Mogen Mohtashami for coining those phrases, BC and AD. I think that they're very appropriate. So there's a lot of chaos going on in the marketplace, and there's a lot of noise, a tremendous amount of noise, and the ridiculous headlines are not helping. Goldman Sachs forecasts the largest drop in GDP in almost 100 years. Sounds scary. Fed president predicts 30% unemployment. The coronavirus may be deadlier than the 1918 flu. Most Americans will likely be exposed to the coronavirus. And we'll probably have a vaccine, and there will be people that will be exposed down the road to this, because these viruses, they can be around for a very long time. But I think a lot of these headlines are purposefully and intentionally scary to get us to click on the stories and read them, and they're angles that people take that sometimes I think that we're just putting fuel on the fire rather than looking at all the data and stats and what's really going to be occurring here. So I'm here to tell you, you know what, let's take a step back and let's ignore some of this stuff, and let's take a deep breath and relax. The United States is extremely strong. We're very versatile, and we will bounce back. I've had a lot of people tell me the opposite, and frankly, I respectfully disagree with a lot of people. They've been posting on some of my posts, and I totally understand that. I understand the different positions that people have, but I'm in it, the economy-wise, macroeconomics, and looking at all this data, stats, and charts, and doing a tremendous amount of research currently. And so I'm getting a lot of people that are saying other things, but they're not looking at it probably in the detail that we are as economists. And I want everybody to know that housing is extremely strong and extremely resilient. Last Tuesday I talked about the differences between the Great Recession and today. I even get into a little bit, but I wanted to go over what the Federal Reserve, one of the presidents said, James Bullard. And when I mention anybody from the Fed, there's people that automatically get negative. I mentioned Alan Greenspan, but I'm here to tell you, economics works like this. If you're an economist, you look at the past and you try to make predictions going forward, and you try to come up with policies that would best adapt to today's circumstances. When we had the Great Recession, we were in uncharted waters, and there were mistakes that were made. But as economists, when we make mistakes, we get to learn from them, and then we become even more knowledgeable going forward. So when you listen to the different people speak, they're coming with knowledge that's continuously evolving. And James Bullard, president of the Federal Reserve of St. Louis, said the following: we're going to have most disruption will be in the second quarter, and real GDP will be reduced on purpose to meet health objectives. It's an investment in public health and not a recession. It's a planned partial shutdown of the U.S. economy, mostly in the second quarter. The whole idea is to hunker down, lie low, let the virus go away. And the numbers will be unparalleled, but don't get discouraged, because this isn't at all comparable to past events in U.S. macroeconomic history. We want to use the unemployment insurance program, and I want to call that pandemic relief instead, and we certainly want to encourage heavy usage. If we play our cards right and the virus proceeds as it did in China, then the third quarter would be a transition quarter where we talk about reinfection and businesses will be coming back online. And then at that point, in the fourth quarter and the first quarter of the next year, we will see boom quarters. And that's how I feel. And I don't want to call it a recession. I don't want to call it recession because it doesn't match up properly with the definitions. Yes, we're going to get that one quarter recession, but I just don't like the word recession because those are typically economic driven. This is not economic driven, so I've coined a new phrase, and it's called a pandession. That's what I'm going to call it, a pandession. And that's what we're going to have. It's going to be short, unique, and then we're going to be bouncing back faster than a lot of people think that we're going to be. The U.S. jobless claims skyrockets amid coronavirus outbreak. I saw so many of these things, and I want you to understand, when you do a forced shutdown of the economy, you're going to get a 1 week spike. This is a 1 week spike. It doesn't even mean that what we're looking at prior, and this is the biggest in history, is you're looking at week to week to week to week. So during the Great Recession, it had time. It had time for it to go, for it to increase the unemployment. And that is, that's the difference. We got it all at once. I hear Neil Schwartz, you want to have a video chat with me? This is not good timing, so we will do that later. Anyway, MBA Purchase Application Index. Yes, these are purchases. These are actual applications, the purchase applications, and what that index did is it's down 11% year over year. And that is natural. It's natural because buyers and sellers are not coming together right now when you have forced shutdowns of the industry and you can't really tour the way that you used to. So that is to be expected. And I want everybody to understand, people compare, everybody thinks recession and they remember the last one, the Great Recession. That Great Recession, that's over here, that is where we went down an extreme amount. We had values that really came down quite a bit. But remember, that was a financial, real estate-led recession. We also had another recession where we peeled back in value, and that was in 1991. That too was a savings and loan scandal recession. And then, but there were 3 other recessions, one in between and 2 other ones that didn't really touch real estate. I need you to understand that every time we have any kind of a slowdown or a recession or a pandession, you're not going to get an equal drive down in values. It's just not going to happen. We're not going to all of a sudden have a wholesale pricing that's going to exist. I'm sure we can go ahead and interview many, many sellers out there right now. The answer is no way. And the safe haven during all of this unprecedented volatility is bonds. And people are parking their money in bonds. And as a result, you see bonds are right now back down today to about 0.75%, which is below 1, which means that we should have mortgage rates that are lower. And guess what? We did. We're starting to get mortgage rates that are coming down. 3.5% was what the Freddie Mac, they do a weekly survey, came out yesterday, and it was at 3.5%. So after going up for a few weeks, it's coming back down. And yes, we've had this seesaw of money going, of interest rates going up and down. But I want you to understand that I did this a couple days ago, and it's already way better. We have rates that I saw at 3.125%. We have rates at 3.25%, and this is purchase, not refinance. This is purchase rates. And I saw rates at 3.375%, and these are from big national institutions. Now, coronavirus, I understand. Well, I did this in the wrong order. There is a lot of purchasing power for buyers when rates get this low, and this is great news for when we start to come out of this and we get it, that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. You are going to see that this purchasing power is going to just flood demand. Demand is all of a sudden going to skyrocket because as soon as everybody goes back to work, there might be a little bit of a lag, but I'm telling you, because of those interest rates, people are going to get going as swiftly as they possibly can. And now for coronavirus, the facts. I've done this before, and this is the wrong one. We're not at 414,000 cases. We're at 514,000 cases. That's 56%, up 56%. 108,000 recovered. That's up 23%. 27,000 deaths. That's up 44%. And hang on just a second. I don't know if that affects anything, but then problem areas are United States first, then Italy, then Spain, then Germany, then France, and then the United Kingdom. I add that you heard about the Prime Minister. He has tested positive for coronavirus. There are 100,100 cases in the United States. That's up 94%. There are 300 million U.S. citizens plus. And there are now 4,570 in California. That's up 108% since just last Tuesday. So the only error is this. This should be 514,000. I'm going to send you, or actually, after I'm done with this, at the very, very top of the broadcast, where there's a description. I've been putting the PDFs of each broadcast. I will fix this one. I apologize for that. Here's another fact. 541,000 tests have been done for the coronavirus. Remember when we couldn't even get to 30,000? We're now testing everybody. When you're testing that many people, that's why we're getting the rise in numbers. Coronavirus and the economy. We have scale. It's now duration. What is the duration going to be? How long is this thing going to last? And this is Jerry Powell in the Federal Reserve, and we have had a lot of stimulus that has been put forth. I went over this last Tuesday. You can go ahead and watch that episode. But here's the big news. The $2 trillion relief package signed by the president. It is official. It is a done deal, inked and ready to go. And if you look at this, check this out. We have NAR wins a major provision for realtors. This is pretty fantastic because you know what? The self-employed and independent contractors are also included in a dramatic expansion of unemployment insurance that could provide benefits for up to 39 weeks. These workers are not usually covered under traditional state unemployment benefit programs. So if you're an independent contractor, real estate agents, or self-employed, you now have the benefits of unemployment if your work has come to a complete grinding halt. And eligible businesses are for loans. 500 employees or fewer, they can get up to $10 million loans towards mortgage interest, rents, utilities, and payroll costs. They want to keep people employed, and this is a way to do it. A portion of these loans will be forgivable. I know that they'll be forgivable if you keep your employees at the same number. So the stimulus checks for singles are as follows. If you make $75,000 or less, you're getting this big fat check, $1,200 per U.S. citizen. But as you make more and more than that, it goes down. Understand this is for your 2018 taxes that you filed. Or if it's 2019 and you've already filed them, they will use that one instead. And if you are married, of course it's more. It's $150,000, and as you make more than $150,000 a married couple, it starts to go down. And also the stimulus checks for unemployment assistance, you get $600 per week, and that's added on top of what the state's payments are for up to 4 months. So that's pretty fantastic for those that are unemployed as well. It's to get them in a place where they can still rock and roll as soon as this thing is done. And $500 per child. Like if you're somebody like me, if you do 500 and you do the multiplication, that's a lot. It's for kids that are under 16 years old. So if you have kids like me that are 16, 18 and up that are dependents, you're not going to get paid for them because they can go to work, and a lot of them do work. CAR has they're trying to request brokerage activity be classified as essential services. I'll get into more detail of this next week, but there are other states where they are classified as essential services. We will detail what some of those are and compare them to how bad the epidemic is in their states. And they're also working on online notaries. This is a time where legislation should come through for California where they will allow online notaries. So housing, that's what we do, right? Housing. We're looking down the road. I'm really watching supply and demand like nobody else's business. And I have news for people. It's not quite what everybody makes it out to be, as scary as everybody makes it out to be, as horrific as people are talking. We went over why we're not going to get this big wave of foreclosures on Tuesday. I still absolutely 100% unequivocally believe that we are not going to get a wave of foreclosures. All the banks are working with everybody. Newsom and the governor has made it so that all the banks are cooperating. I understand Bank of America was being thrown under the bus, but they're one of the few banks that's actually doing this where they'll forgive payments and then they'll do it month to month based upon how long this epidemic lasts, and they're going to take that monthly amount that you miss and put it at the end of the loan. And I think that's where all of these lenders and institutions are going to gravitate towards. Some of them say that, well, they'll give you 3 months, but at the end you have to pay all 3 months. So I think they'll be working with everybody going forward on that. So the Southern California market, let's talk about the housing supply. It still is a supply problem. There still are not enough homes on the market. And I'm here to tell you, last Thursday, a week ago from yesterday, 28,816 homes. That was up 1% in 2 weeks. That's where we were. Normally, we're going up at this time. Last year, we were at 40,832, 42% more homes on the market. And that's the difference between last year and this year. Today, we're at 28,335. That's down 2% from a week ago Thursday. That is going the other direction. Why, you may ask? Well, there are some reasons for that. Some of them are, there are homeowners that were going to come online that aren't coming online. There's also some agents that are working with their sellers, and they want to place their homes on hold. There have been a lot of homes placed on hold. We'll go over that next week as well. And there have been some escrows that have canceled. It's approximately 7%. I'm going to get even more accurate figures going forward, but this was my own little self-analysis of a few different escrow companies that got back to me, and that's about what the coronavirus effect is on top of some of their normal cancellations. It's approximately 7%, which means there's still a lot of escrows that are still going forward. Homes on hold, we'll go into more detail of this next week as well, but there's 3,829 homes that have been placed on hold in all of Southern California. That's 13% of the entire inventory is on hold. They just are not having their homes shown. So when they pull their homes off the market, the active inventory, what's available, has actually dropped. And I just want to reiterate, sellers are not going to give away the farm. Not during this uncertainty time where they're going, well, things are uncertain, I'm going to go ahead and subtract $50,000 from my home. That doesn't happen. That logical thinking does not happen. It down the road will, if we progress towards something, it takes about 9 months to a year for sellers to go, yeah, the market's turned, and then you start seeing a turn in value. By then, we're going to be in boom quarters. So I absolutely don't think that we're going to have what everybody thinks we're going to have. Or not what everybody, what some people are talking about. And I show you this slide. I know this is Orange County because I've been doing data for Orange County for a very, very long time. I have data for sales and things like that go back for a very, very long time as well, but for all counties. But as far as, from 2012 on, I have all of the rest of Southern California, but this goes back, and this was the nature of the housing market. If you look at this, way over here, what do we have? Almost 18,000 homes on the market. Look at that. That's the difference between today, less than 4,000 homes on the market, and back in during the Great Recession, 18,000 homes on the market. That is where we have a supply problem. Way too many homes. That's where you have to start stripping the value of your home in order for there to be values going down. So Southern California housing demand, we're looking at this. We have Southern California housing demand. There's where the cracks lie. Southern California demand year over year, you could see we're going the other direction right now. Last Thursday, a week ago yesterday, 15,360 pending sales, pendings and active under contract. So sales that were put together and are in escrow, they were down 8% in 2 weeks. But last year we had 15,937, so 4% more. It was the first time where we had that change where we actually have fewer escrows than the prior year. But that has everything to do with coronavirus. That's not the way things were leading prior to it. So BC versus AD. Normal changes actually were going up 6%. So this isn't normal, went down 8%. Now, as of today, we're at 13,177. So the number of escrows and demand is dropping. It's down another 14% from a week ago last Thursday. So sounds scary, right? It's actually not that scary. So this is where the expected market time. If you place your home on the market, when are you going to go into escrow down the road? This is where we are. But it's different than where we were last year. This is the orange line versus this line. But we're gravitating towards that orange line right now where things are slowing down. But right now, SoCal, a week ago last Thursday, we were at 56-day expected market time. SoCal last year was at 77 days. So you can see, slower last year at this time. SoCal today is at 65 days. So we went from 56 days to 65 days. We went from a hot seller's market, because that's below 60 days, to what I term as a slight seller's market, where sellers get to call more of the shots, but it's more of a balance. I actually think right now, the way that the market's going, it's more balanced. It's more, you know what, things will get better down the road, so it's more, let's put this thing together, and there's no real drop in value, but there's no real increase in value either right now. But we have these very, very low interest rates, and I want everybody to know that that increases purchase power quite a bit, and we constantly are comparing prior to the Great Recession. Well, I'm going to pull the slide out because we're at 3.25%, and we have $875,000 purchase with 20% down is a $700,000 loan. Check this out, $3,046 per month versus prior to the Great Recession, we had much higher interest rates at $4,356 per month. That's $1,310 difference every single month. You can see why I don't like to compare anything to the Great Recession. Why prior to it? Because interest rates, it was a higher interest rate environment. At 6.35%, it was actually lower than where it had been in prior decades. But this is where we are right now, a low interest rate environment. It fuels a lot of monthly savings, which fuels buying power. And then I want everybody to understand the difference between each of the counties and where we're going as far as expected market time is concerned. We have in LA, we were at 52 days a week ago last Thursday. We're at 61 days right now today. But compared to last year, 72. Orange County, 52, 60 today versus 83 last year. Riverside, 68, 77 now. This is today, 95 last year. San Bernardino, 66 days versus 73 last year. San Diego, yes, it's cooling, 57 days, but it was 65 last year. You can see that the market is still pretty good. It's actually favoring sellers right now. I know it's going to go more towards balance, but you have to understand that's not bad. It's not a bad thing. So, thank you very much. I want to introduce my baby. Come on over here. I'm going to close out with this little dude. You want to come over here? Little guy? He just woke up from his nap. This is Zeke. This is where we keep it real, right? This is my friend Zeke, and he wants you to subscribe at reportsonhousing.com because that's how he gets his bottles filled with milk and all that good stuff. So you go to reportsonhousing.com and you get a month free when you sign up today, and it's reports is the coupon code.
That was data.
Oh, no, that was the last one. My wife's telling me, I thought it was data. No, that was the prior one. That one expired. The new coupon code is reports. And you can go to my business page, Reports on Housing. Guess what? Thank you very much to our sponsor, Matterport 3D. They do such a great job. I've talked about it before. They have been extremely busy, and I've enjoyed working with them. And go to reservephotographer.com. Starts at $209 per month. That's it, folks. I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. You can ask any kind of question that you want right now. I'm fine with that. I think I should wrap it up, and then we can answer some of those questions offline. And but of course, I'm going to take a walk first, and this is my beautiful Athena. I'm going to take a walk with the family, do some fun things. So I might not get to you as timely as you'd want, but you know what? That's totally okay. I wish Mia would join me. She's the shyest one that there is out there. Come on over here, Mason. We want to say goodbye and have a fantastic weekend. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you on Tuesday.
Wait, I gotta stop.
Does that make